Good morning from Limassol, from the port here. We are in Limassol, a maritime center, a port city, a cosmopolitan port city at the crossroads of three continents. And we are having today the Gymnich meeting. In a while, we will be welcoming our European colleagues and also our two distinguished guests, Prince Faisal from the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia and Dr. Jaishankar, the Minister of Foreign Affairs of India. Gymnich, as you know, is a very special meeting with a very long tradition for being an informal, open and frank discussion with the aim of providing the strategic compass for the European Union foreign policy. This has been reflected in today's agenda. We are starting with a discussion about the situation, the state of play in the Middle East, and also as to the ways forward and the impact that the war is having on supply chains, and also as how can we move forward in relation to the resilience of supply chains. Therefore, our two distinguished guests fit in exactly with the discussion that we are going to have. This has been, I remind you, a priority of the presidency of Cyprus, maritime security and the emphasis in the Middle East. The second item on the agenda relates to our strategic positioning as regards Ukraine, both in supporting Ukraine and also as regards how we can move forward. Again, this has been an issue that has been at the top of the priorities of the Cyprus presidency. I can point to the approval of the 90 billion loan and also the 20th sanction package. So we'll be having a strategic discussion about moving forward. Finally, it's the European security strategy. We hope to be able to start a discussion today. This is exactly about how the EU positions itself in a very turbulent period moving forward. And this again has been part of our priorities. I can point out to the motto of our presidency, a more autonomous union open to the world. I think it's a very important opportunity we have here today to have this open and frank discussion. Our presidency has faced a number of challenges and we have adjusted and we have managed to deliver. We'll continue maximizing our effectiveness and yielding results. Till the last day, the work will continue and will go on.
Minister, you're saying open and frank discussion is the thing you do here on Gymnich. There is one discussion about a new chief negotiator for the Ukraine war. What do you think about this idea? And how should this person look like? What should this person need if there is one choice?
There are views as to whether this should happen or no. There are then discussions about the characteristics of that person when he or she is appointed. But I think today the discussion will be focusing on what points would that person be pursuing and making if we get to that point. So it's about setting out the core elements of our positioning if we get to that stage. There are different views, of course. This is a very important and delicate issue. And we expect to hear this conversation today, to have that conversation today and possibly or hopefully get to a point where we can define the parameters. And then the decision about the person, if we get to that point, I understand this is something that will be decided at the highest of political levels.
What do you think about Germany calling for a more equal burden sharing in supporting Ukraine?
The support towards Ukraine has been multidimensional. It has been inclusive as regards how member states react. We have everyone is doing whatever they can in relation to that, and are following the positioning, the pattern that the European Union leadership has been setting. There is always a discussion about doing more. There is always a discussion about how we allocate, if you like, our contribution vis-à-vis each member state. These are things that we have proved since the war started, that the European Union can find a proper solution and a proper answer to all these issues.
Minister, back to the special envoy, back to the special
Ukraine membership. Sorry?
Are you expecting progress today regarding Ukraine's membership?
There are ongoing discussions in Brussels about the clusters. We are monitoring that conversation. and we remain hopeful that during our presidency we could have a positive outcome in that direction. But we have to wait and see how the negotiations are going on in Brussels about exactly this issue.
And will you be entertaining any discussion today on the subject of sanctions against Israel?
The Gymnich, as you know, is an informal setting, so we cannot take a decision about that. We had a conversation, had a discussion about this issue in the previous FAC. It is expected that it's something that could come up as well. Again, it's the issue about, and I remind you that we had the sanctions for the violent settlers in the last FAC, so it's an ongoing dynamic conversation affected by developments and by events. I think it's reasonable to expect that the issue could be raised today in this informal setting, but for any decision we have to wait and move forward to the next step.
Minister, one question about the special envoy. You said it has to be decided at the highest level. Are you expecting the heads of state to decide this in the next summit?
I don't think we have any clear pathways to how we get to that decision, either procedurally or substantively, but politically, one would think that this is something that goes up to the highest of levels. It's not a definite kind of answer, if you like. We don't know the answer to that question, but logic points in that direction. Because of the importance of the issue, one would assume it would be at that level. But in any case, the important thing is to define the parameters of our positioning. This is what we will be trying to do here today, and moving forward to the person, if we get to that point, if there is a convergence in relation to that, if the political circumstances are such, it will be taken at a level that is appropriate. So, have to excuse me.
Yeah. What kind of parameters are important for you?
The parameters are going to be set by the discussion we are starting today. And this is one more reason why I have to be very careful and more neutral in positioning myself. Thank you very much. Good morning.